What is going on, everyone? Today on this episode of Mental Strop from riversedgecutlery.com, we're going to be talking about G10's outdoorsy granola loving cousin, Micarta.
How we doing, man?
Good, how are you?
Good, man, good. What brings you in today?
Looking for some micarta.
Actually, got a good one right here for you, QSP.
Wow, what's this right here?
So that is actually a denim micarta on the scale.
You're telling me they glued jeans to the scale?
So it's actually a little bit more complicated than that.
Huh, how about that?
Micarta was developed in the early 1910s by George Westinghouse Company and was actually initially developed for decorative purposes as well as for use in the electronics industry. Micarta was initially produced by using different fabrics such as linen, burlap, cotton, and actually impregnating that fabric with a phenolic resin. That resin impregnated fabric was then molded and pressed using a high heat and high pressure environment to cure that resin, and you actually end up with a really strong and lightweight composite that has a lot of features that make it really well suited for the knife world. As I mentioned before, micarta was actually initially used in decorative purposes as well as in the electronics industry, similar to the uses of G10 that we talked about in a previous episode. However, there were some more off-the-wall uses for micarta. In the early 1930s, they actually started using it in guitar picks. A little bit of useless information for you. The first person to use micarta in the knife industry was William Rissian. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I couldn't find a pronunciation anywhere. However, he actually used micarta essentially under the name Rissianite. You know, I wonder how he came up with that name. And he was the first person to kind of use it as a knife handle. Since then, micarta has become hugely popular in the knife industry. You see it in bushcrafting fixed blades all the way to EDC folders and even in culinary knives. Micarta exhibits a lot of really cool characteristics that make it really popular as a knife handle. First off, it actually handles heat and cold very well without becoming brittle or deforming. It also doesn't become brittle over time like you see from a lot of different plastics. While micarta is relatively water resistant, it still isn't as water resistant as G10. However, some people do believe that micarta becomes grippier as it gets wet, which makes it a really good choice for a hard use folder handle, a bushcrafting handle, or also in the kitchen. In its natural state, micarta does offer a little bit of grip just based off of the fabric that it is actually made out of. However, if you wanted to apply a more grippy texture, that can be done by either using something like a Scotch-Brite wheel to rough up the surface or machining the micarta to actually give it a little bit more of a texture there on the surface. Micartas can also be very ornate. You can polish micarta to give it a nice shine. However, you do lose a little bit of that grip and that kind of signature micarta feel. So there's just a little bit more information about micarta. If you found out something new today, leave a like down below and make sure to subscribe for more content like this. If you have any more suggestions for more episodes of Mental Strop from riversedgecutlery.com, leave them down below. We love to hear you guys' suggestions and we look forward to doing more videos in the future. I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. If you actually, oh my God!